English teacher here at Chaguang Keji Dashui. English name is Overseas Chinese University. I've been teaching English here for about 3 years, and I'm originally from the Chicago area, okay? Okay, in this lesson, I will teach you about Chinese Lovers' Day. And here is a very popular picture about Chinese Lovers' Day. And in this picture, you see 4 people, these 4 people are related to the legend behind Chinese Lovers' Day. And I will tell you about that legend in addition to other information. So here is my outline for this lesson. First, I will just introduce the holiday to you. Then I'll answer each of these questions. What is Chinese Lovers' Day? When is Chinese Lovers' Day? Where in the world is it celebrated? Who is the holiday about, which is the legend I was talking about? Who celebrates it, and how is it celebrated? Then we'll have a short review. So, also, I just want to note the sources that I used to prepare this lesson are at the bottom. They're Wikipedia, About.com by Rhonda Parkinson, and Travel China Guide. So, let's get started. Okay, so this is my short introduction. Okay, each culture seems to have a different holiday of love. And I think the most famous one globally is St. Valentine's Day, which is celebrated in America and other Western culture countries. In my research, I also found that St. George's Day is celebrated in places in Spain, and Tu B'Av is a holiday celebrated in the Hebrew culture or around Israel. So from these 3 examples, we know many different cultures celebrate love and have holidays about love. So what about Chinese, the Chinese culture? They have Chinese Lovers' Day, but it's known by many different names. It's also known as Chinese Valentine's Day. It has 2 Chinese names, Jiti Festival and Jitiao Festival. It's also known as the Double Seventh Day, Night of Sevens, and the Magpie Festival. Okay, that's my introduction. Now let me tell you about Chinese Lovers' Day and what it is. Simply, it is it's a day to celebrate and honors love. And the legend that I was talking about earlier is a festival celebrates the annual meeting of 2 lovers in Chinese mythology. When is Chinese Lovers' Day? Many holidays in the Chinese culture are related to the moon. Therefore, the date of each holiday, or the date of the holiday each year, it changes. So they follow the lunar calendar, and a good example of this is Chinese New Year. It can be in January or February. So this holiday, Chinese Lovers' Day, is the 7th day of the 7th month. And the date changes from year to year, like I already said. In 2014, last year, it was August 2nd. This year, in 2015, it is August 20th. And next year, in 2016, it is on August 9th. It's very similar to Easter. And Easter in Western culture, the date changes from year to year for a similar reason. Okay, where in the world is Chinese Lovers' Day celebrated? It's mostly celebrated in China and Taiwan and other places where Chinese people may be living, such as Malaysia or Singapore. And here's a map of China, and also you see Taiwan in the lower right-hand corner. Okay, now my next question. Who is Chinese Lovers' Day about? Using an example of St. Valentine's Day in the US, St. Valentine's Day, of course, is about St. Valentine and the story of what he did. Just like that, Chinese Lovers Day is about two people, and it has a legend. There's a legend related to Chinese Lovers Day. And this is a legend of Niulang and Jinnu. There are many variations of this legend. So I'll tell you the simple one, then two variations of it. And then also there are some videos that explain different variations. This legend is related to two stars, All-Star and Vega, and a third star, Deneb. So now I have a picture of those two stars, Altar and Vega. Niulang is the symbol of Altar. Jinnu is the symbol of Vega. And as you can see in the picture, that these two stars are separated by the Milky Way galaxy. So this legend explains, and is a story about how these two stars became separated and how they are reunited. Every year in the summer, Deneb brings these two stars together, as you can see in the summer triangle. So the legend is related to these three stars and how they are connected in the summertime, which is the same day as Chinese Lovers Day. Okay. I have a student with me, Lovarsi. Before we talk about the legend, I want to ask her a question. Does she know the legend? That is your question.
Hi everyone, I'm Lovarsi, and the legend I know is not deep enough, but it's basically two people that they are originally lovers, but they are being separated because they are not being granted for being together. So they've been separated far apart each other, and they are only allowed to meet each other once a year over the Silver River, and on that bridge they can meet each other, and that's the only time where they reunited.
Thank you, Lovarsi, for sharing your knowledge about the legend. And she mentioned the Silver River, and in this picture we can see the Silver River, and it actually is the Milky Way galaxy. So now, let's talk about this legend and the variations of it. This is the simple one. It's the legend of Niulang and Jinnu. Two lovers, which Lovarsi said, Niulang, and who is a cowherder, and Jinnu is a weaver girl. And this legend has been known and passed down since the Han Dynasty, starting in 206 BC, all the way to 220 AD. Okay, so now let's talk about the legend. Niulang and Jinnu fell in love, and their love was prohibited. Therefore, they were banished to opposite sides of the Silver River. One time per year, at the 7th day of the 7th month, Niulang and Jinnu are reunited. It's a simple legend. There's not many details about why their love was prohibited, how they were banished, and who banished them. There's not many details about this simple legend. So now let me show you some variations that kind of fill in those details. Here's a picture of Jinnu on the right, on the left, and Niulang on the right. Okay, this is one variation. A young cowherder named Niulang saw Jinnu, and Jinnu is the goddess's 7th daughter, and she escaped from heaven. Niulang and Jinnu fell in love, and they married without permission of the goddess. Together they lived happily and had 2 children. The goddess of heaven was upset that Jinnu married a man, being Niulang. Jinnu was commanded to return to heaven. Niulang chased her, but how could he chase her? And how could he go to heaven? He did so by killing an ox, and he entered heaven by wearing its skin as clothes. The goddess discovered Niulang and divided the heavens to separate Niulang and Jinnu. Therefore, Niulang as Altar and Jinnu as Vega reunite when the bird magpies form a bridge, bringing the two together. And here's the first picture I showed you about Zhinu and Yulang together on the bridge. And then on the bottom right-hand corner, we see the axe and their 2 children. Here's another variation. All of the goddess's 7 daughters visited Earth. Yulang noticed them because they were so beautiful. While they were bathing in a river, Yulang thought he'd play a joke, and he ran off with their clothes. So he takes their clothes and he runs off with them. Zhinu, being the youngest and the prettiest, asked Yulang about their clothes, but she wasn't wearing any clothes. So because Yulang saw her naked, they married, and together they lived happily. The goddess felt abandoned by Zhinu because she was living on Earth after she married Yulang. So the goddess ordered her back to heaven. But after Zhinu went back to heaven, the goddess took pity on her daughter and her husband and allowed them one night together every year, and that one night being the 7th night of the 7th lunar month. The magpies, with their wings, form a bridge so Zhinu can meet with her husband, Yulang.
七夕
The Qixi Festival, also known as the Chinese Valentine's Day, falls on the 7th day of the 7th lunar month on the Chinese calendar. There's a romantic love story associated with Qixi. It says that a fairy named Zhinu, who lived in heaven, fell in love with a cowherder named Niu Lang during her trip to Earth. Zhinu decided to settle down on Earth and lead an ordinary life with Niu Lang. However, love between ordinary people and fairy gods is forbidden. They were punished by the heavenly gods and turned into stars located on the opposite sides of the galaxy, watching each other from the impassable distance. They are permitted to meet each other only on the 7th day of the 7th month each year. Magpies gather and make a bridge across the galaxy for them. Qixi is the most romantic one among the Chinese traditional festivals. Chinese recall the loyalty of love and wish for happiness on the festival.
Qixi